Okay, so I think I've decided that I'm going to do the unboxing and the reveal in the same video because it just makes the most sense to me. So I've told this story a couple times now, but basically what happened is I started my sorority back in April, I think. Yeah, let's say April. And I went with some female bettas that all came from the same breeder. Well, they were supposedly about 6 months old, and over the course of the last, I would say 4 months now, I've slowly lost all 8 of them. They all had the same exact symptoms. They all started being lethargic and laying on the bottom of the tank. Then after about a week of that, they would be swimming around looking fine. And then at day like 10 from the original lethargic, they start pine coning, and essentially they all had dropsy. I treated the tank for parasites after the first one died, and I treated with antibiotics after the second one died. The tetras in the tank and their spores were fine. The snails were fine. So I looked into dropsy a little bit, and basically it's just an underlying condition. It can be anything from bacterial infection, parasitic infection, to a liver dysfunction. So since I treated for bacterial infection and I treated for a parasite infection in the fish, I came to the conclusion that it might have been a liver dysfunction in all these betta fish. Now, I reached this conclusion because normally if you get fish, like if you get bettas and you go to Petco or PetSmart or any fish store and you buy them, they're not going to be from the same litter or the same batch of fish, whereas mine were, which in my mind increased the chance of it being a liver dysfunction, because it could be something genetic that happened when these fish were born. The other problem with dropsy is that it's hard to diagnose until it's too late to save the fish. So you can treat and do all you want and increase the temperature and try to do every treatment regimen that you can find online, but I'm gonna guess 9 times out of 10 it's too late to save the fish. I've had these bettas got other things. One was egg bound and a couple other things, and I was able to save them just fine. But once the dropsy sets in and they get that lethargic and then they get that rebound, but then they go downhill so quick. They pine cone, their eyes start popping out. It's not pretty. It's about the only thing I would ever consider euthanizing a fish for. Otherwise, I would try to treat and save them, but trying to treat for dropsy is very difficult, and usually it's too late. So basically, after they pine cone, and that's basically when the fish starts to look like a pine cone, their scales are kind of bulging out, and you can tell that they don't look right. That's a pretty easy to spot. I'll try and put some pictures of a pine coning fish up on the screen. So once they get to that stage, I pretty much knew that they were done for, and like I said, little by little over the last 3 or 4 months, I just slowly started to lose fish. And at that point, I was like, well, I could do one of 2 things. I can can the tank and give up on a sorority or a betta tank altogether. I could go option B, which really was my option A, which was to get more betta fish to put in the tank. But I didn't want to just get more female betta splendas and have the same thing happen to them again. And I didn't really want to treat the tank again because the other fish in the tank already had the medicine used on them and they were fine, and I didn't want to over medicate the fish and other things in the tank, including the plants. I also didn't want to kill off too much bacteria in the tank. I don't know if that's a thing, but I'm just being paranoid at that point. So what I ended up doing is, at one point I went on Get Gills and I went to Dan's store, and he had all these variety of wild bettas, and I got a thought in my head, well, would it be possible to do a mixed tank of wild bettas and do like a wild betta community tank, since I love community tanks anyway. So at that point, I think he only had like 5 or 6 kinds on his store. So what I ended up doing is I just shot him an email. I said, hey, here's what I'm thinking about doing. What wild bettas do you think would get along best in a tank together? And he gave me a short list of the ones that he felt would be best kept in the same tank together. I was asking him because I've never kept wilds. I know very little about them, and he's the one that brought them in, and he knows a lot about fish, so I figured he'd be the best person to ask since he was selling them. So I ordered the bettas. I ordered 8. I ordered 2, 3 and 1, I think. So I have a nice mix of fish. I will put the unboxing after this so you guys can see them. I of course left the emerald iris spores that were already in the tank and the 3 surviving black neons. So little background on this tank, I might as well at this point. I got this tank October of 2019. So we're coming up about a year I've had this tank. When I first got it, it was a community tank. I had a bunch of tetras in it and some cory cats and a few mollies in it. About the first week of February of this year, I checked the tank before I went to work at 6 o'clock in the morning. They were fine the night before when I went to bed around 10. So at 10 o'clock they were fine. That's PM. At 6 a.m. they were fine. I came home from work at 2:30 that day. I walked upstairs from my basement and just smelt death and decay. Something had happened over that 7 hours I wasn't home, and I lost 90% of the fish in that tank. I was only survived was 2 Cory cats, 1 molly, and a bamboo shrimp. I believe that's all that survived out of like 20 fish. So of course I was faced with the same problem I had. Luckily I had another tank, so I threw them all into my 10-gallon, and they did fine for a while. The molly died after the first couple days. I'm still not sure what happened. I tested the water, the ammonia was fine, the nitrates were fine, The only difference was, for some reason, the pH was off the scale in the high 8s. I don't know what happened at that point. Once I broke the tank down, I noticed that one of the pieces of decor that I had in the tank had a screw in it to help hold the plant to the base. And that piece of decor just happened to be rusting on the bottom where the screw was. I don't know if it was the decor's fault. I don't know if it was the cholla wood I added the night before. It could be a number of things, and I never figured it out. So I didn't want to just stop keeping stuff in that tank. So that's when it got converted into the Sorority, which unfortunately only lasted about 6 months. But anyway, here's an unboxing of some cool wild bettas. I hope you guys enjoy. And of course, all the links for these fish and Dan's store will be in the description below. Please check them out because he's got some wonderful stuff. Before I cut to the unboxing, I will say I've had these fish for a week now. They ate day 1. I fed them Sorority bloodworms, freeze-dried of course. They ate those. They eat the Tetra Flake. They eat the Extreme Krill Flake. They eat the Sarah Onip tabs. They have eaten the Bug Bites, both the tropical formula and the beta formula. They've eaten Daphnia. They've pretty much eaten everything I have given them. So, you know, that's another plus to Dan, that his fish pretty much eat most things. Okay, so it turns out that I lost the audio during the unboxing, so I'm going to have to try and do this on the replay of watching it back. So, fingers crossed. Okay, so first thing is it's all packaged nice and neat. Per usual, it's either a heat pack or a cold pack, not sure which one. Temperature was a little wonky when these things were shipped, but Dan covered his bases is here. We've got some styrofoam lined box here. We've got some hacking bubble stuff, air things, and there's the fish. Look at those beautiful fishes. Now, I'm horrible with Latin, so I'm going to put the names of the fish on the screen, and I will attempt to read them at the same time, or I'll just read them at the end. You know what? I'm going to read them at the end because I'm terrible here. I'm going to try and get you guys the best shots here as well. So we're going to put these guys down, go for the next one. Again, all these fish came in live. Nothing wrong with them at all. Super lively. Super nice to see that they were all nice and swimming around in their bags. No DOAs in this order at all, so that's always a plus. It's always nice when you order fish online and you don't get anything that shows up dead. Really, really happy with this order of fish from Dan. Highly recommend anyone that wants some wild bettas to check out Dan's site. I think he just added some more as well, so I will put the links for everything again in the description below so that you guys can go check them out for yourselves. We have 2 Betta Forshi, I think that's how it's said. We have 3 Betta Rutilans. We have 2 Betta Kokin, red wine bettas, and we have 1 Embellus. I might get more Embellus at some point because they're super cool looking. But again, all wild bettas, Dan's fish. Again, I'll put them all down below if you want to check them out. I don't know pricings on wild bettas, but they really didn't seem super expensive. They ranged anywhere from like $8.50 up to $18 or something like that. For me, isn't super expensive, I guess. I mean, I spent about that on African cichlids, so. So per usual, when I get fish that are not in breather bags, I just float them for about 15 to 20 minutes and temperature acclimate them. Some people say to drip acclimate. I just temperature acclimate because it's worked the best for me. Also doesn't take as long. So as you can see, I just took all the bags out and stuck them to float on top of the water and just let them acclimate. So I left them here about 20 minutes. Then I came back and I proceeded to plop and drop. I mean, I cut the bags open with my aquascaping scissors and then just dumped the water and the fish into a net and throw it into the tank. Well, by throw it, I mean gently let the fish go and let it swim out. Now, Little tip, if you have fish that like to jump out of the net or just are more agile and moving around a lot more, what you can do is you can just take your fingers and pinch the net off so that they can't jump out, and it gives you a little more security when transporting the fish. I do this mostly with like a mono shrimp because they're super jumpy. Do it sometimes with guppies if I'm taking like a big net of guppies out of my tank just to sort through them. But other than that, usually don't have much problem with fish trying to jump out. So we're just going to cut all these bags open and throw them in the tank. So the one major difference between your regular run-of-the-mill Betta Splendas and wild Bettas is that the wild Bettas are more prone to jumping out of your tank. So since my tanks all have an open lip in the back, I ordered a glass hood. Well, glass and shipping does not always work, so when the glass hood came in, it was broken. The hood and the fish got here on the same day, so I had to do some quick thinking, and what I decided to do is once I unboxed the fish, I took a piece of styrofoam from the box, cut it to size of the lip I had to cover, or the opening I had to cover, and then I wrapped it in electrical tape or black duct tape, and then I fit it into position over the hang on the back filter, and so far so good. The fish haven't jumped out, the water still flows fine from the hang on the back, and I have had no problems with it. So for now, this is the solution I have until I can get a glass top that fits this tank. So per usual, I'm going to end the video with some announcement type style things and whatnot. Thanks to everyone's support, we are drawing close to 200 subscribers. And once we hit that 200 subscriber mark, I am going to do a giveaway. This giveaway is probably going to be US only. Unfortunately, it's going to be for a fish tank from PetSmart. So I don't think I can ship that internationally. I might add a gift card to either the Aquarium Co-op or Dance Fish, depending on how generous I'm feeling. Yes, once we hit 200 subscribers, we're going to do a giveaway for that fish tank at the minimum. We might do some other stuff. I do stream every Friday with Chattanooga Ed at around 4 p.m. Eastern. It's becoming a little bit later, like 4:10-ish, because I get off work. So I've pushed it back a little bit, but we might be able to get back to that 4 o'clock mark. Other than that, I will say that I am selling fish and plants now on our Fish Collective. It is Guppy Guru's website that he runs with his buddy. So that's awesome. I will put the link to that in the description of the video. At present, I am selling my purple blue mosaic guppies, my tiger orange mosaic guppies, and some red brew floaters on there. I have a couple more strains of guppies that I want to work on, and of course plants if I get up and running with plants, but for now it's just those 3 things. Other than that, if you want and you have Instagram, you can follow me on Instagram. It's just the same username as here. It's Lefty3213A. I also have a Discord server where some of us hang out, play Among Us, and just chit chat. If you want to join that, I'll also put a link for that in the description. I should probably mention 86 Apparel, which the link has been in the description for quite a while now. They are basically an apparel company that works with gaming industry mostly, but they decided that they would also help sponsor me. So if you click the affiliate link that's in the description, I do get a small commission. I think it's like 10%, so I get like 10 cents per shirt, but it's better than nothing. And thank to you guys, I also got my Amazon affiliate account solidified, so thank you guys for that. Other than that, I just want to say thanks to everybody because the support's been great so far since I started uploading and whatnot. Also got a new microphone now, so hopefully the videos sound a little bit better and clearer. Other than that, just make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you liked it, and I will catch you guys in the next one.